Hello, welcome back. Today, story time. This time is a story time about Knock and Run. If you are maybe in some kind of really cold country where there's nothing to do apart from like terrorizing old people and just annoying people, then you have probably played this game. It's basically right where you run up to a door, you knock on it, and then you GTFO. And the idea is that you knock on the door, but you don't wait to talk to the person at the door. If you wait to talk, then that's just called evangelicalism. But this is Knock and Run. Okay, so it was a warm summer's day, which for Britain is actually just a really rainy day where the sky is grey and there's like nothing to do. And I was hanging out with 3 other guys. They were all older than me because obviously I'm such a mature geezer that you know, I was with all the kids who like smoked and had like huge moustaches. But I think we were actually in like year 7, if that means anything to you from America. But yeah, you British kids know what I'm talking about. Year 7, time of dreams. So they were like a year older than me. And we were bored. We were bored in the British countryside. Literally the worst place you can be bored. So instead of like playing the 3rd game of Jenga for the day, we decided that we would cause chaos for some old people. So I say old people, like there were other people there, but it feels like in Britain pretty much everyone is old. So we started to play some Knock and Run. Right, we started walking up the road. So there were 3 guys actually. I should probably explain. There were three other guys. There's me. I'll just call me because I'm me. And then there was the short guy, whose house like I was sleeping over at. We were all sleeping over at that night. We got the tall guy, who was like a friend, and the French guy who was like, oh yes, very French, like that. If you needed like confirmation of what French people sound like. And yeah, we ventured out into the night. I think it was 6 o'clock. There were wolves howling in the night. As we stepped out into the wonderful world of British countryside in sort of like end of summer, beginning of autumn, yeah, so we got to a few houses. Like the most houses for Knock and Run are sort of like not too much of a challenge. You know, you sort of just run up. If you're lucky, there's no doorbell. If there's a doorbell, then it's a little bit more scary because the doorbell's quite loud. But if you're lucky, you can. And because we took it in turns, right? So it was like me, then the French guy, then the short guy, then the tall guy. So it's your turn. If you're lucky, you go to a house with a really short drive, with no doorbell. So you just have to sort of like run up, knock the door. If you're real worst, then you just like tap on the door really lightly, and then you run out, and you're like, oh my god, what if I died? And it's really exciting actually. Yeah, it's terrifying. But after a few average Knock and Runs where I don't think anyone even answered because like everyone is like in hibernation because it's raining, so no one's even alive at this time of day. It's probably 4 o'clock or whatever, and everyone's having their afternoon tea. So we not got any responses so far, and then we come to the longest drive that you have literally ever seen in your life. This was like looking over from, you know, in The Hobbit, when they're on top of that rock at the end of the 1st film, and they can like see over the forest and they can see all the way to the Misty Mountain, and there's like they can see all the world before them. This was like that, except it was us looking down this guy's crazy long drive at this really big house, and there were hedges like either side, like really thick laurels, so you had to sort of weave your way through these laurels past this BMW into the door. And if he did come out, you'd be like sprinting past this BMW, maybe even knocking into it. It was crazy. This was the mother load of Knock and Run, and obviously it was my turn, and I noped the fuck out. JPG. So I was like, nah, come on guys, come on, be nice. I think this was my first one, so maybe we'd done like 3, and then I was up, and I was like, come on, be easy. I'm young, and I don't want to die. I don't want to be killed. I don't want to die doing Knock and Run. That would be like the worst gravestone message ever. Died knocking on a door. So I was like, come on, someone else take this one and I'll do the next one because you're all older than me and therefore you have less life to lose here. So I think the French guy decided that he'd give it a knock. So he ran down, he sprinted down as fast as his French legs could carry him, straight past the BMW, smashing into it a little bit, come up to the door, knocks on it really loudly, no doorbell, runs back out through the hedges, And I mean, by this point, we'd already like ran away, you know. So the second this guy started running down the drive, we're already sprinting off. Just left him. He's looking around like, where are all my friends? Like, that sounds more like I don't even know what language that is. But anyway, French guy comes out. He survived. No one answered. We sort of went back after we'd all, you know, we'd all run a few hundred meters the other way. We were like, oh no, no one's come out, no one's come out. Okay, so we went back, yeah, look. Oh, look, their lights aren't even on. They're probably not in, right? They're probably out doing their weird British things like country dancing. I think that's what people do. And yeah, so again, pretty uneventful. So by this point, we were like, nah, knock and run. Knock and run sort of sucks. You know, we've all had a go, and nothing's really happened. So, we just decided that every time a car would come past, we'd pretend to violently murder each other. So the game was, someone would lie down as a car came past, and we'd all sort of like punch them, like mime punching them and kicking them while the car came past, so that they'd hilariously think that we were brutally murdering a teenager. None of those cars stopped, which I think is sort of weirder, because well, maybe to be honest, our acting was probably really bad, but yeah, we definitely tried to make it look really realistic, like kicking the guy in the head, but no, we didn't get any stops for that either. So nothing had happened. So uneventful, right? So we've come back from Tesco's, we've got our curly whirlies, and we're thinking, you know what? It's time to face our fear again of that crazy house, the mansion at the end of the yellow brick road. The house with the really long drive was ahead of us, and we were just trying to decide who was going to knock on the door. So the French guy pipes up and says in his extremely French voice, like, "Oh, I will knock on the door." And we were all like, "Yes, all right, you will." So French guy decides he's going to knock on the door. Now, what we realised was the light in the porch was on. So if those people weren't home earlier, they were almost definitely back home now. So French guy, he's geared up, he's pulled his socks up, he's done a few jumping jacks maybe, got the blood through his system. He's in a sprint start. I'm there with the whistle. He's ready to sprint down the drive. He starts running. He hits through the hedge, smacks past a BMW, and before he even gets to the door, he's reaching out to knock on it or press the ring the bell, and bang, the door slams open. The guy that lives in this house was waiting for us. He has his full running gear on. He's got like old man running gear on with like those really long white socks, like a polo shirt, and he's just sprinting towards us. He overtakes the French guy. Okay, so already we know he's out for blood. He doesn't just want the French guy, he wants all of us. All right, he sprints past the French guy and comes for us three. Of course, we were already running away, as is tradition. We'd already abandoned our friend and we're sprinting back to the house that we were staying at, sprinting away. This guy is like really close behind us. We're talking, you know, an arm's width. He could reach out and grab us. I remember looking past me, behind me, and just seeing the short guy and the tall guy just accelerate past me, as like, because they realized that he was really close behind us. I turned around, I was like, oh shit, and realized he was literally right behind us. This old man in his sprinting gear running behind us down the road. We ran straight back to the house we were staying at, vaulted over the hedge, and then we just all dissolved into his hedge in the back of his garden, like some weird kind of magic shit. We all just dissolved into the hedge. We all dissolved into the hedge, and then the short guy's mum comes out, and he says, she says that she had to get rid of this Olympic runner who'd wanted to like kill some kids. So she had to, you know, stop him and be like, no, you're not going to kill my children and his friends. And yeah, this guy was like an Olympic runner. Like, this guy would run in competitions like a high level, and we didn't know this. We knew, I think we sort of vaguely knew who lived there, but we had no idea that he was like a full-on Usain Bolt, but like 40 years older. And I think he still runs marathons, so, you know, good on him. But yeah, this guy was really fast, and that was crazy. So we managed to survive. We ran away from this like Olympic sprinter Usain Bolt old man, and we survived to live the tale. And as you know, as his mum came out into the garden, we all just sort of walked out into the garden from the hedges, all like you know, simultaneously looking at each other like, shit. I don't know what happened to the French guy. He never made it back. I think he might actually be dead, but maybe we'll talk about that another time. Thank you for listening to this story. What is the moral of today's story? Bring running shoes for Knock and Run, because Vans just will not cut it. Thank you for watching. Feel free to leave a like.